both of us have rap verses in it, so
R&B. Who's doing the singing? Is it you or him?
both.
It's both of you guys? Wow.
Uh-huh.
All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, man.
It's yeah.
Definitely
Eh,
can't wait to
we'll
hear
see.
that.
We'll
And I'm
see.
sorry, where's it? Do you know where it's being released on? YouTube,
Uh-uh.
right? No,
Uh-uh.
SoundCloud?
I'll let you know though. I'll let
Oh,
you know. I don't really know. I think he's the mastermind behind all that. So we'll see. But you ready to
go.
get into it, baby?
Yeah, let's do it. Go whenever you're ready.
Well, perfect, man. Yeah, I see we're recording yet again.
Wait, you can see it?
Welcome.
Damn it.
Yeah, it says
I
recording,
thought I was
man.
being
Pulling
sly, catching
the
some
pulling the
small talk.
fast
You
one
can
on me.
see it anyways. It's bullshit.
Pulling
The
the fast
fucking
one on
point.
me.
Yeah.
Are you serious? No, but dude, third episode, count them, of shooting the shit, and I gotta
Third
tell you,
time's a
first of
charm.
all, yeah, I know. Another shameless plug was that graphic that you have, which is awesome,
Hey!
hilarious, and perfect in every sense of the word, dude. Oh my god. I can't, if that's not live already, you can throw in the plug for that
Okay, we'll
because
do a
I want to
live.
pat you on the back.
Just for
It's pretty good.
the graphic. Well, thanks,
Well,
man. Yeah,
for the idea of what it will be, in terms of the direction of our show.
yeah, definitely. Just shooting that shit. There's a little waist bat. Is that what you're referring to? I'm saying a
Well, I was gonna
little
say, isn't that
poop
gonna be the
emoji.
logo for the website?
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
Excellent.
yeah.
Excellent.
I
Yeah.
I've gotta. Yeah, I gotta get around
We're always
to.
looking to better the show.
Yeah, we gotta.
For you, the listeners, the viewers. So I wanted to give
We're
them an idea of all the work we put in.
we're so considerate. We
We
really
really are.
are. Yeah,
Really
but
have
that's
to.
yeah. I'll have to put that on up there.
We don't.
The say the logo, just the whole thing, or you mean the poop emoji with the waist basket? Because that was actually I told Allie to draw a logo for us, and she just like whipped it up, and so then I scanned it onto my computer, and I just like eliminated the background and the words. I actually have it with me, yeah, and just like colored in the poop emoji.
How
Yeah.
great is that? I mean, how great is that?
Thanks, man.
Dude, absolutely love it. And I just had to brag about it because it was well
You
crafted on
liked
your
it.
part. I
Dude, I
enjoyed it.
appreciate it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Yeah. Once I put the waist basket on there, I was just like, this
It
is
just felt right.
perfect. And
This is the perfect.
if I put too much work into it, it wouldn't have felt authentic for this show,
Right.
But
Absolutely not.
I gotta match the effort level for this whole thing.
Correct. Correct. So before we get into NBA talk, which we love to do, I was talking with my roommate earlier, and I have we were discussing something with some passion and heated vigor, which was in terms of Lunchables. What do you recall as being your favorites?
I thought this was gonna be basketball
It
related.
will be. It will be. This is just
Okay.
important. Couldn't have been nachos, right?
No,
All right,
I
fair
didn't even
enough.
know they had nachos, dude. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of under-schooled on the whole
Okay,
Lunchables thing,
that's
but I'm
fair.
aware of the two primary camps, I'm sure, are
Hmm.
the pizzas
Oh yeah.
and the little like snack board hors d'oeuvre crackers or just the crackers with the ham and the cheese. Are those the
Yeah,
two
definitely.
primary ones?
Those are. Those are. You
Okay,
nailed
I'm
it.
definitely going crackers with the ham and cheese
Oh yeah.
for sure. Because the pizzas were just, I don't know, it's weird. I don't
Kind of like
like
bland.
cold tomato
Yeah.
paste was just
I love them.
strange.
I thought they were the best, man. But
Really?
I respect them.
I'm
Agree to
like,
disagree. And I know that this was a big preamble, but don't worry, we'll cut all this.
does this have any? I mean, it's fine. We don't have to talk about
I know.
basketball. basketball's in the logo now. We don't have to talk about it.
Well, so is poop in a trash can.
That's right. So we gotta talk about.
We could talk about that.
We gotta talk about shit for a while.
There you go. But no, let's start off and you take over and tell me about what your impressions were in a very interesting game 3 out west between the Lakers and the Nuggets, who give me your thoughts just from that game in general. I will briefly say I think it gives them a lifeline. What do you think?
It does. I still expect the Lakers to win this, but I also expected the Clippers to kind of end them pretty early too. But they're the kings of coming back from 3-1. So if the Lakers win another game, they better watch out because they got them right where they want them. But what my major takeaways from that game is, one, AD can be next level. He can be a top 4 player in the league, but he can also be pretty inconsistent sometimes. And 2 rebounds is not something you want to see from one of the best players in the league. And that the Nuggets have 2 bona fide superstars, and they're not going to go away. I think the Lakers kind of let them back in with their shooting. I think they had a lot of open looks and they didn't hit them. But like, you give this team an inch and they're going to take a basketball court length. The Nuggets will. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see this go to game 7 now, because you let them back in, they get some confidence. Jamal Murray, we talked about, he's a rhythm guy. He's going to shoot the lights out like he did.
Yeah.
And they get Jeremy Grant going. I mean, that's big. If they can get a third guy going in the game 2 to go with their 2 superstars, that's big. But what do you think? You feeling the same way?
Look, man, I mean, what has Denver showed us? What they've shown us is that they're not a team to be underestimated. You know what I mean? Throughout the entire playoffs. And if you look at that team, the breakdown of that team, they have, Joker, who I've always sung his praises. I think, honestly, he should and hopefully will more be considered in the MVP conversation. He puts up video game numbers. As a big, honestly, I think he's the most skilled big from an all-around game that possibly the league's ever seen. Again, I'm not saying the most skilled, but Shaq was dominant. Kareem had a hook that was unstoppable. But in terms of an all-around game, we saw in a closeout game against the Clippers, he was racking up, I think, it's certainly double-digit assists, but it was an impressive number, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So he impacts the game in so many ways. And what I saw in game 3 that concerns me and should concern the Lakers is, to your point, if they get that third option going, that spells trouble for the Lakers, because whether it's Michael Porter Jr., who hits some big buckets down the stretch and can flat out ball, he's got a bright future ahead of him, my man.
Yeah.
He reminds me, and this isn't meant to go overboard, but just from a physique standpoint, what's his, ultimate ceiling? And again, it's a long shot, but I'm saying from a physique standpoint, a little Kevin Durant-ish. I mean, the dude's 6'10". You know what I mean? He's practically a 7-footer. He clearly is comfortable pulling up from 3. That's an element of his game he's clearly comfortable with. He can take it back. He's impressive. I've always liked Grant. He was a great acquisition for them, and he plays great. Millsap's a vet. So you look across the board. And I don't need to say anything about Murray that he hasn't proven himself.
Yeah, what's left to be said, man?
Yeah, right. They're very well coached, and Mike Malone. They're a tough team that's not going to go away. So I think 7 is fair. And what you worry about for the Lakers is AD can't have, I think it was 3 boards in a game. That can't happen. It just can't. And if you watch that game 3 game, Jokic was the one, and the Nuggets were the ones who were kind of setting the tone and inflicting the physical tone of the game, which you didn't see in 1 and 2. They had urgency. They were pushing it. And I'm curious to hear your opinion on my thought on this, but I think the biggest factor in this series, and if I'm Mike Malone, what I'm stressing to my players is the tempo needs to be ours. We're younger. We can push. The tempo needs to be ours. Because not the youth is everything, but with Rondo, with Caldwell Pope, with, you know what I mean? Have Murray push it. Have Gary Harris push it. Jeremy Grant. What do you think?
I definitely think if Denver can get them going at their tempo, then that's a huge advantage for them. Because you're right, the Lakers, I mean, they're kind of old. And I mean, that may have played a factor in this last game. I'm not going to say it absolutely did, but they looked kind of gassed. But the oldest guy,
They're
I mean,
both tired, yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, I definitely think that's a huge factor in it right now. Another big thing is, again, going back to the rebounds. I think Denver was like plus 19 last night in the rebounding, and that can possibly be attributed to the age difference as well between the two teams. But definitely, if Denver can get up and down the floor, that bodes well for them. But we'll just see if it keeps playing out like that. The tough thing for them is Anthony Davis probably isn't going to put up another 2 rebound night.
Right.
If Jokic can keep staying on the boards and anticipating where these rebounds are going to go, because that's how he gets to them, and he can get the rebound numbers up. But
sure.
They're going to make this a long series.
They will. Right.
Yeah, and that's honestly the way I see it going right now.
I do too.
Yeah.
Well, and beyond that, here's my question, to you for the remainder of the series. And I think it's a fair one given the myriad of of stars on the team, on both teams, I should say. Who is the most important player for both teams moving forward in the series, and who do you think is the most important player just in general for the series moving forward?
Gotcha, like an X factor kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, it could be that, or of the stars.
Yeah.
If you want to say Jokic is the most important player, I could see you making an argument for that, or Murray, or Davis, or LeBron.
Yeah. I mean, the easy right answer, I think, is LeBron James. I think what he's going to determine this series with the way he plays. I mean, he was good in the game last night too. So I mean, I guess if Anthony Davis comes up short, it's not going to matter what he does. But I really do think he has the power to sway games. He's still the best. He's still the best player in the league. Giannis has the MVP trophy, but everybody in the league knows who the best player is still.
He was trying to be pissed off about that. I really do.
Well, you know what's funny? I heard this on the Dan Le Batard show. Is that I guess he complained about not winning the MVP trophy, and then like in the same press conference was like, I don't care what people think, like it just doesn't matter to me what other people's opinions are. But then it's also funny that you're getting mad about not winning that, or he's not mad, but he's just kind of like talking about how he should have won the MVP trophy, which is directly what people vote on that, which means it's directly what people think of you. Yeah. There's just like a super funny, hypocritical, like, so LeBron catches himself in those sometimes. You can't blame him too much. He has to talk like 30 minutes a day on camera, but
oh man.
But he's definitely my number one guy. I'm trying to think. I mean, for the Lakers, you got to have an X factor. When Rondo's playing well, they're kind of scary because he can move the ball. And when he's hitting threes, I mean, then there's space on the floor a little better too.
Sure. And Caldwell Pope's been great.
He's been great which I have not thought a lot of him in his career so far. And then this year, he's been pretty rock solid.
With LeBron is a 3 and D. I mean, what more do you need to say?
Just get to a corner and shoot an open 3.
And be able to hit. Which Danny Green needs to be clutch for them moving forward. He needs to show up because regardless of – here's the thing as well. Regardless of who comes out of the West, they'll face a good team coming out of the East. And we'll talk about the East in the second game coming on here shortly, but they'll face a good team coming out of the East, no doubt.
Yeah.
For me,
Absolutely.
man, I actually think that the X factor out of the whole series for either team is Jamal Murray, because we've seen him in the bubble get, I mean, cayenne, fucking ghost, red hot chili pepper hot in some of these games where, you know what I mean? He's had multiple games where he's
Yeah.
dropped 50 in the bubble, dude.
Yeah.
And he does have that look almost of like, and I'm not saying this as a comparison, but of like a Kobe or a Jordan or someone who's just like a man on a mission in some of these games. The
Yeah.
game where he drops 50, it was like Lillard dropping, having that
It
run.
does feel
Like,
Lillard-esque.
man, he is just like too hot to stop right now.
In the game last night, that three from like 5 feet from the 3-point line, the dagger three, that was such a Dame moment. Yeah.
Getting a little bit of this in. I was like, fair enough. Look, man, he is a stud.
Yeah.
Jokic is a stud, and this, could be a hot take, but it's not disrespect to LeBron. It's mad respect to those two. On given nights, as you saw in Game 3, I would almost be more confident in Jokic and Murray showing up than the duo of Bron and AD showing up. Not because of Bron. Let's be
Right.
clear. Bron's going to
Yeah.
show up every night. I don't know if AD will, because he's had his highs. He hit that 3-point buzzer beater. I was like, okay, he can do that
Yeah.
if he wants to.
I guess that's going to be the theme of these playoffs for me,
Yeah.
because I do still think that the Lakers going to make it to the finals, and honestly,
too,
I think
and I
they're
think
going to
they'll
be
win.
a better team than the other team they're playing in the finals.
I think they'll win. Yeah.
So ultimately, what I'm going to take out of this year's playoffs is, can AD be on? Can he minimize the number of off games he has to the point where they're gonna win the championship? And cat's out of the bag. I just said I think they're gonna win, so I think he can. I think he's good enough that he can minimize the amount of games where he doesn't show up as much. But it's something to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah. Well, and I also think LeBron's just that good.
Yeah, he's not gonna let him. Like, they can get away with a bad AD game because LeBron could just have one of these games where he dishes out a ton of assists and the supporting cast just has a really good game.
Mm-hmm. But what they can't have is Denver firing on all cylinders, which they were in Game 3, because Grant's not going to have 26. You don't need to worry about that. I mean, he had a great. I like Jeremy Grant a lot, but he's not going to do that all the time. But
they're the shaders on.
Yeah. The rest of the series, you have a game where MPJ drops 20.
Yeah.
Feasible. You have Monte Morris come out and get 10 a night. Millsap one night goes off for 15. What they can't have is they need to play good enough defense on both Jokic and Murray and not let them go off. But more importantly, have a third and fourth and bench option that's really hurting the Lakers.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be up to one of those guys to step up and really punish the Lakers for, I guess, not having a 1 through 5 that's really, as good as them. I mean, I would take the supporting cast of the Nuggets over the Lakers. It depends on how highly you rate Paul Millsap in his later years. Because I used to be a stan for Millsap.
I still love Paul Millsap.
He's definitely in the twilight years, and he's a third, fourth, fifth option, so he's not as good as he used to be. But
I mean, look, I was on the Nuggets train early, and the reason is because they've been building. They've been building. They were a 2 seed last year. Jokic and Murray have just progressively gotten better.
It's like every year. It's like we were here and now we're here.
They've just been growing. And if you look at the chemistry of their team, it's a great balance of young, just stupid talents in Murray and Jokic, and some vets. They got Millsap. Grant technically is a veteran on that team. And then in terms of a 3-and-D guy, kind of similar to the Lakers, you can't do much better than Gary Harris.
Gary
Shout
Harris
out to
is a
the
good player,
hometown.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hometowner.
Yeah.
That's right. And they got Monte Morris.
Who's been
They,
great in the playoffs.
yeah, they've got some players over there.
Yeah.
That's going to be a fun series to watch play out.
It will. It will. So talk to me about out east and what's going on. There is a game tonight, a game 4. Game 4.
If I could do a Miami accent, I would do it to match you, but I don't really know how to. I didn't spend enough time there.
I'm not even sure what a Miami accent is.
Probably like a Cuban.
Oh,
yeah, like a Cuban flair or something. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I was serious, yeah.
Do our
you
Miami,
could just do a poppy.
Oh gosh. Do our Miami viewers and listeners call in. We're trying to get an accent.
If we ever do get big enough, we should just take callers for.
I would take calls.
For just like a whole entire. I mean, you barely have to do any work. You just sit back and
drink wine. I'm doing that anyway. Just listen to people.
You're on with Chris and Jake.
Cheers, yeah.
Okay, my thoughts.
Is like the goon guy.
The what? The goon? Oh, is this solely from Worcester? What does he say?
I was wondering if you like hot dogs. Great. We won't go further than that.
I love hot dogs, but I like corn dogs better because there's a bun on it and you can eat it on a stick. I kind of botched that, but
no, I love it. Jay Baruchel was just like, oh, God,
you're on hot ice.
I love it. Out east.
Speaking of hot ice, the Miami Heat.
Oh, what a sick play that was!
Can't do much better than that.
You can.
This the first likable Miami Heat team in the history of their existence has me very intrigued. Very intrigued.
And that's so true. They are the first likable ones, too.
Yeah,
like even Alonzo Mourning, I was like, dude,
no,
fuck that guy.
Dwayne Wade, he's a great guy. I never really liked playing him. I don't know. Did you like the Dwayne and Shaq team that won in? I was rooting for the Mavericks that year.
I liked Shaq more as a post play.
Yeah,
because in playing against him, not only was he really good and that sucked, but the one I mean it bled. But the one thing I'll say about Shaq in his play that my dad, God love him, was like a former basketball official, loved to play, coach. So he's very Andy refed, so he can be very analytical about the refs. And something with Shaq that did kind of strike me was it felt like Shaq did almost and maybe he was just so big, but almost a Sabonis where he would just bowl people out of the way. You know what I mean? So my dad would get salty about that because he'd be like, "How? What is a defender supposed to do? In terms of position? You know what I mean?" Because in the NBA, that charge, although we see it some, is kind of rare.
Yeah, and well, especially when you're getting down to the paint, you get the restricted circle.
Oh, they let him bang in there.
Yeah, I mean they're just gonna let you do whatever you want.
And then Alonzo Mourning, like I said, Grease. And those, dude, tell me those Heat teams weren't the greasiest ever.
Yeah, that's right. That's what really gave me a sour taste.
They did, man.
I mean, yeah, God love them. You got to respect them. A lot of good dudes on that team. Just, I hated the group. Hated them all together. I like Chris Bosh.
They joined the dark side, dude. All of them.
They really did.
They did.
It was even the black and red jerseys. They look like a team the Mighty Ducks should face.
Dude, they were just villains, bro.
Like the Russians or something.
They were.
All right, so here we go. So as much as I love this Heat team, and they do have the series lead right now. I got a feeling this Boston Celtics, rumble in the locker room. I think that's going to spark something, and I just like Boston's talent just a
Hmm.
little bit better. I think the
Hmm.
T. I think they. I mean, I think it's obvious that the Boston Celtics are probably a more talented team.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with
Mm-hmm.
that?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It I'm not going to cut you off long, but
oh, you're
just
fine,
one
man.
insert. They are a more talented team in terms of the bevy of stars that they have.
Right.
Jaylen Brown's a bona fide star and an all-star.
Okay.
No, he narrowly missed. I apologize.
Who's that?
Jaylen Brown should
Yeah.
have been, well, not should have, could have been an all-star, narrowly missed out to Tatum, who's more than Tatum's a real deal, man. Tatum is a real deal. I mean, again, comparisons, and I don't think this one's far-fetched in terms of what he has the potential to be, is Kobe. And I mean that in terms of his one-on-one offense, his bag of tricks he has, his length. He's offensively, he's a killer, man. I mean, there's really not a good one-on-one matchup against Tatum. He is
Yeah.
a stud.
No, he's kind of
Um,
like KD, where like you
yes, that's
see
a good
almost any
comparison as well.
defender on him,
Yeah,
and Kobe. That's apt too. That like you put him up with anybody, almost anybody, unless it's like Drew Holiday or
sure,
somebody who's just a known perimeter beast.
sure. But
Um,
even
and
then,
you're like, dude, that's a
he's a matchup
mismatch.
nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a great defender as well. So I see that. A lot of talk was, and I love him again. Shout out to the hometown guy, Gordon Hayward. I love him, but
Get as
I
many of
saw a
these.
lot of, I saw a lot of. What'd you say?
I said, just get as many Indiana shout outs as you
Got it,
can.
man. Got it. It's what they
Who are
needed
we
today.
missing? The Plumley brothers now?
I don't know why I leaned forward like it would help me here. Did you notice that? I was like, what?
Come closer, come closer.
Classic, old school, just like Lena. What?
Wait.
But turn it down.
No, dude, you're absolutely right. They have
Yeah.
probably 4 all-stars right now. And I mean, Gordon Hayward's a past all-star. And he's
Yeah, I
not
was
playing
gonna
at the
say,
level,
yeah.
but I mean with
Kemba
Kemba,
needs to show up. He's
Jalen
gotta
probably
show,
will. He does. And
gotta
that's
show up.
yeah, I mean, this is kind of rarefied air. I'm not sure that's the phrase I was looking for. It's just
It's
not
uncharted
anything
waters
he's
for Kemba.
perfect. That is took the words right out of my brain. And yeah, so he's kind of struggling a little bit, but it'll be interesting to see if he can turn around. I think if they get hitting on all cylinders,
Yeah.
they're probably the better team. So I'm gonna go. It's almost chemistry versus talent to me right now, and I'm gonna go team talent in
Hmm.
this situation because I think they're gonna put it together. I think Boston's gonna steal a couple here, and I got them in
Okay.
7.
Okay. Wow. Okay. And look, they're very well coached. We of course love the shout out to the.
Man, you were sitting on that one, weren't you?
No, I wasn't. It's just
No, you just
again,
fell into it.
you just can't help it, dude. There's so many.
Oh, there's so many.
You can't help it. I mean, Brad is shout out to the hometown for real though. Like he actually
Oh
is.
yeah, came up
But
through the mud.
but they're well coached. But I think the X factor for them is Marcus Smart because he was drilling 3-pointers in some games throughout the playoffs. His offensive game has developed to a level that I hadn't seen him have before. So if he can put up 15 a game, hit 2 or 3 threes a game, and add that defense and rebounding and passing and all that. Because I've grown to respect Marcus Smart. Does he flop? Is he a diva? Yeah, I still think that. But he's, he can ball, and if he's doing that offensively, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Yet, I predicted before both of these conference finals started that the Lakers would beat the Miami Heat in either 6 or 7, I can't remember, in the finals. And I think Miami will beat Boston. And the reason why is because I loved your point about talent versus chemistry. This Heat team has great chemistry just across the board. They
Absolutely.
are gritty. And I mean this seriously on defense, when you watch great defensive teams, you can acknowledge it. Miami books it around the court in terms of their like rotations and stuff. Like
Yeah.
offensively, they're good. They've got some great shooters. Butler drives hard to the basket, gets to the line. Bam, I think, is one of the most versatile bigs in the game.
Yeah.
Hero's a rook who ain't afraid of anything.
Yeah.
Iguodala, Crowder. So they've got some players, and I just think that they have good team chemistry. And although they have less stars, I think the best player on the court in the series will prove to be Jimmy Butler.
And that's big because Jason Tatum is also
Yeah.
on the court.
Yeah.
I'll give you this, and what's very interesting about the way this Miami team is constructed is they've got four guys, Jimmy Butler, and I may be giving a little too much props to Jay Crowder here, but we'll go ahead and give it to him. He's been
Oh, and
great.
Dragic has been killing it too.
He is. But mainly where I was going with that was you've got Jimmy Butler, Jay Crowder, Andre Iguodala, and Bam Adebayo.
Mm-hmm.
That's four guys you do not want to fucking drive on at any point. Like I would be, you go in, you're gonna hit a wall.
Absolutely.
That's what Giannis learned. And so they have those guys, and then they've also got Dragic, who's kind of like a sneaky guy, can cut into the paint. Not necessarily a defensive powerhouse, but he's going to give you stuff on the offensive side. Hero, who could develop into a great defender. I don't necessarily think he's terrible, but
he's a decent defender. He's not
a
awful.
lot better than you would expect from a lean rookie guy.
And offensively, he's cold-blooded.
He is. But they've just got this really nice balance of perimeter defenders with Iguodala, Jay Crowder, Butler. They've got Bam Adebayo in the middle. So if a drive gets there, they're going to be met. And they've got these shooters who just space the floor. And it's really like it's a perfectly constructed. It's like a blueprint for like a Corvette you're watching. Like the plans were laid out and then they're executed, and it's lovely to watch.
It's like Ocean's 11.
It really is. Like everybody's got their job. Jimmy's the vocal leader who's gonna play some of the best perimeter defense I've seen.
Yeah.
In the playoffs.
Yeah. Jimmy's rusty.
Hero and Dragic are gonna Dragic more than Hero is gonna. He's going to knife into the paint and kick it out or just have a really nice finish.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Heroes over there.
Yeah, and I said this, and I'm curious what you think. One of my friends was kind of giving me shit for saying that I thought defensively, Miami actually matched up better against the Lakers. Again, no disrespect to Denver, but I'm picking the Lakers, so we'll operate on that assumption. That they were actually a better matchup to the Lakers than Boston, because I think of all the defenders in the league, a one-on-one, Bam might be the best for Anthony Davis. Because Bam statistically against Giannis during the regular season was tremendous, and he's, I think, 6'10", great athlete. I mean, really good athlete. And then again, to your point, in terms of perimeter defense, I know he's given up a couple inches. I don't know who could. He's going to get his, but defend LeBron better than potentially Jimmy Butler. You know what I mean? Like Jimmy Butler, I think, could be the best, short of, they'd never made it there, but a Kawhi Leonard or, Jimmy Butler, I think, could really give him again, he's going to get his, but maybe he's only doing, 15, 11, and 11 or something.
Yeah.
I know how absurd that sounds.
You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him.
Triple-double.
Yeah. Just a meager triple-double. Well, you know who they also have? They have Andre Iguodala, who's had plenty of run-ins with them. So,
Crowder,
if they need to rotate
is a vet defender.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. I mean, that'll again, operating under that assumption, I do not want to discount in Denver. I just said that was going 7 games,
It could
but
be Boston, Denver. I mean, it could be
it
anything.
could be.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
evenly matched, I think.
So what are you calling this series then?
This
For the
one,
Heat and the Boston series, yeah.
7. Heat.
It's going 7, but you got Heat.
7 in the Heat. For the Lakers and Nuggets,
Yeah.
6 Lakers.
Oh, 6. Okay. I was gonna say I thought we were
Had I
picking the
said
same
7?
thing, but no, I don't think you said.
Okay.
I said
Yeah.
7. Yeah.
Got you. I say 6 Lakers, and it's just because of the respect I have for LeBron. Here's the thing: Denver and Jokic won, and that's great. And I have the utmost respect for this Denver team. Oh my God! I really do like them. They're a fun team to watch and root for, man. They really are.
I mean,
But
if they continue the
yeah,
slope, then next year.
and Denver's desirable. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to get a good free agent.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
After what they've done today,
Yeah.
or not
So-
today, but this year.
Yeah. but yeah, staying out east, man, it's a hell of a series. It's gonna be a lot of fun. They're both well coached. They both are talented teams. And speaking of kind of acquiring free agents, they both have a very, and this is something I can say that the Lakers don't necessarily have that all 3 other teams do, which is a very bright future, regardless of what happens. And look, I know the Lakers have LeBron and AD. I'm talking about the long term. If Boston stays together, do you know how young Tatum and Brown are? And Walker's not super old. You know, Miami, Hero's a rook. Robinson's not a rook, but I mean close. Nunn's a rook. Bam's young. Butler's entering his prime. They'll be teams around for a while, man.
The Nets will be much improved next year.
Yeah, which is why I'm so glad they're in the Pacers.
Just that, yeah,
This
that's
is why
gonna
that
be
excites
fun.
me so much. That
The East will be much improved, and you're right that the young talent on both these teams it's insane. So,
yeah.
it's
So you
gonna be-
said Boston Lakers, correct?
yes, yeah,
And
I
what
got
do you think
Boston
that
Lakers.
series would go to? Again, I said if Heat get to the finals, I think Lakers in 7. Would you say the same for Boston?
Yeah, I'd say Lakers in 7. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. If
Yeah.
not, yeah, no, I'm gonna stick with 7. I mean, how great of a finals would that be if it turns out? I mean, the 2 storied franchises.
I was just gonna say that. I was gonna pivot to that because, dude, like it's so, like that's the thing. You know, the Lakers are gonna make it because either way, the storyline is just all around too good for Bron and AD, for Kobe, but even beyond that, their opponents. If LeBron plays Miami in the finals, like it's just too good to be true. And if Lakers play Celtics, it's same.
Yeah. If Denver ends up spoiling this, just they're gonna catch Adam Silver just like cussing the refs out in the locker room or something.
Breaking a
You
clip.
motherfuckers, we were this close.
Of course, you motherfuckers, you're supposed to screen this shit.
Hey, just really quick,
Yes.
because I think we've covered everything, but I did want to talk to you about Ty Lawson. Did you hear about this at all?
No.
So Ty Lawson has been playing in China. Once a
Oh.
storied guy, right?
Got released,
Supposed to
didn't he?
do. He did because he posted a picture with a stripper, and on his Instagram was like,
Wow.
or something along the lines of, I'm totally paraphrasing here, but it was like, I'm not into Chinese girls, but these cakes about to change me or something like that. It just had a picture with a stripper on his Instagram story, and the Chinese team like released him.
Wow.
Should have released him
dude.
because of it.
Unbelievable. Some Xavier Laflamme shit, honestly.
It really is. And we've hit
what
our
does he
cap
say when
for the
he's like
goon.
he starts getting into drugs, hanging with the wrong crowds?
God damn it, hold on. I'm gonna have to rewatch. Actually, I'm gonna show Allie that movie, I think.
She hasn't seen it?
No, it should
Oh
really
my
should have been the
God.
first movie I showed her. But it's
Well,
kind of
maybe
like a
not.
B-rate sports film, even though it's a personal favorite
B-rate?
of
Oh,
ours.
it's
It's not
classic, dude.
B-rate, but it's,
It's classic. I mean, it's not good, but it's
maybe not. I think on Rotten Tomatoes it has like a 60 or something.
it should, because
It really should. It's a
purely
good
from a
movie.
comedy standpoint, it is great.
Yeah,
It's one of the fun. It's
funny
one of
as
my
hell.
favorite comedies, actually, like ever. I love it, dude.
I'm a fucking hockey player.
Yeah. When he like wipes off the spit from the logo.
That's an all-time teammate moment right there.
81 on Rotten
Team about.
Tomatoes.
Is this
Dude.
an 81?
That's what I'm saying. It's
Drop the
great.
mic, dude. Shout
It's
out Sean
great.
William Scott. Doing great work.
I will lay you the fuck out.
Hey. All right, man. Well, it's been
What
it's
a
been
great episode.
it was. I really think we're hitting our stride here now.
I do too.
And only our third episode,
Mm-hmm.
following the Nuggets path to a championship.
To
Just
greatness.
every episode we get better, but
We do. And we'll strive to always get better. And I mean, look, the logo was just an indication of the leaps and bounds we're making to
Thank
just
you.
continue to for you, the viewers, to give you what you want.
That's all we want to do is give the people what they want.
That's all we strive to do, is to be a model and inspiration.
Absolutely.
All right, buddy.
All right, man. Well, thanks. I'll talk to you
Absolutely, my
soon.
man. All
All right,
right.
see you, Chris.
All right, bye.